figure out how you study best. Everyone is different. Everyone has their own learning style. Are you a visual learner? Do you learn best drawing diagrams? Do you learn best explaining things to other people? Do you learn best writing out flashcards? Everyone is different and everyone has their own way to study, and I'd say try and figure out how you study before you go to med school, because that, I would say, would tremendously help. And yeah, it's very important when you get into med school because you study a lot, as you would know.
For me, it's clearly the advice of having framework and mechanisms in place in your life that de-stress you, very effective ways of de-stressing. And for everybody, that looks really, really different. For some people, it's a slice of red velvet cake. For other people, it's going to the gym and attending a boxing class. For other people, it's going on a walk. The transition from medical school, from sixth form to medical school, can involve a lot of stress, and you will experience new stresses that you may not have encountered before. So having a way to de-stress is very, very, very effective in aiding that transition, simply because you'll be able to cope better. At the end of the day, medical school, it's not a linear journey at all, and the best way to deal with that, I think, is having ways to cope with stress.
Don't be afraid to make friends with the people who are in years above you, because let me tell you, they are so helpful. They were once in your position, so they know all about it. And just ask them questions, and they are very friendly, so they will help. I would say get ready to be reflective, because in med school you're going to have to do clinical logs, you do communication skills and everything, and when you do that you actually have to look back at it and try and figure out what you did well and what you have to improve on. And with that, it kind of links to being open to change. You cannot be closed-minded, you have to be open-minded, you have to be ready to accept constructive criticism and feedback, because you will not only get that from your lecturers, but you will also get that from your classmates as well. And whenever they say it, it's not meaning to hurt you, that's not the intention at all, as you should know. It's actually going to help you in the long run when you become a doctor. So be open to change, and because you will be getting a lot of, and be reflective, because you will be getting a lot of constructive criticism and feedback.
Only 20% of the information is actually received and retained when you read it. You need to start utilizing methods like active recall, spaced repetition, using flashcards, diagrams, mind maps, that kind of thing.
Okay, you may be one of the few Black medical students in your course, but never let that discourage you, because you are meant to be there. You got into med school for a reason, and eventually you will find your people. If you start off and you don't really feel like you fit in, eventually you will find your place.
It's like everybody else, you are deserving of a place in medical school. You are going to thrive in medical school, and you're going to become an amazing doctor. Another issue can be the fact that the age-old problem of, let's say, skin conditions, the way they're taught on black skin, and the horrible notion that black people supposedly experience pain completely different to other races. I feel as though these particular issues can be quite demoralizing as a black student, but at the end of the day, you are exactly where you're supposed to be, and you are deserving of where you're supposed to be.
You'll find support, your friends in the course. I feel like that's a big one for me, because we're all on the same page, and if we're struggling with something, we're all pretty much struggling with the same thing, so we all try to help each other out. You can find support in the African Caribbean Society. I'm sure your university has one. You just have to look up African Caribbean Society on Facebook, probably with your university at the end of it or at the beginning of it, and I'm sure you'll find one. And if you need anything, you can also feel free to DM me at osnapasnana. I also have a YouTube channel if you want tips and support, but definitely do not hesitate to send me a message or a DM or anything, because I'm here to help.
We often don't discuss the massive positives of social media. Don't underestimate the power of social media networking with people online. A lot of my support has come from the wonderful people at ACMM, and also black doctors online who have accomplished what I aim to accomplish, and other students in a similar position to me. I think don't underestimate leaning on other people sometimes. People are not a replacement for like a counselor, which universities do offer. So some universities will offer free counseling, of course, and even free therapy in some cases. Again, like I said previously, don't underestimate the importance of network.
I definitely think approaching your lecturers after the lecture, if it's a topic you're interested in, you should definitely do that, because your lecturers can really help you with the whole research thing. Moreover, I think you should definitely ask the upper year med students, because once again, they're in the same position as you were once, and it's just they've done a lot of research and they have experience with it.
Next, I would also encourage, if you get a job in the summer, or if you work part-time on the side of med school, to get a job in the healthcare field. Medical school has transformed me and is transforming me into someone who has more discipline, someone who perseveres a lot more, someone who really doesn't give up, someone who is becoming more stoic. And I do look at myself at the start of medical school, and I look at myself now, and the growth has been pretty exponential and will continue to be exponential. So I really, really love who I'm becoming as a result of medical school.
I would say I really love the challenge, the feeling when you look at a lecture and you're like, I have no idea what this means, I can't do this, and you're just confused. And then you sit down and you try to make it, put it in your own words, and you try to understand it and really retain everything. And then 2 hours later, you look at it and you're like, oh, I actually understand this. Like, that feeling of accomplishment is amazing. I also love the people I met through the course. You will meet so many amazing people, so many people with different characters, and they're all pretty much going to be amazing.